Not to get
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for joining the Dukia Gold World Press Conference for March 2025. All right. Okay. I know some if people had issues in my audio, but I hope I'm very, very audible now. Okay. Thank you so much, Mrs. Oluwafunke.
we can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much. We just go straight to the presentation. Okay, it's 12 o'clock and I'll just wait for others to actually join in before I kick starts. Good afternoon, Mr. Bolaji. Good afternoon, Madam Justina. Good afternoon, Sonola. Good afternoon, everyone. The webinar will start in
Good afternoon.
earnest. Good afternoon, Mr. Lawale.
Good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Mr. John. I can see you on the chat.
Afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon, Madam Olatukumbo. Good afternoon, MD. And I know she's in this presentation.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Emmanuel.
Good afternoon.
Hey, oh, I forgot. Good afternoon, Mr. Ayola. Thank you all so much for joining this March 2025 Dukia Gold World Press Conference. And I so much appreciate that you're here again whenever we call on you to actually make this event. A lot of people are still joining, but I think it's best to just kickstart on time so we can move forward with every part of the process. It's
Emmanuel,
another, Mom, I'm hearing you.
I good morning or good afternoon, everybody. I would just like to crave your indulgence for us to start by 12:10 so that we can allow more people join.
Okay.
And at the same time, I would like to greet us all, the Muslims amongst us, Ramadan Kareem, and the Christians, happy Lenten season. And we pray that the season brings us all great joy and a lot of blessings.
Okay, okay. Definitely, Ma. Thank you
So,
so much,
Emmanuel,
Ma.
we'll start by 12:10.
Okay, Ma. Okay, Ma.
Yeah.
All right, Ma. I've heard that. Good afternoon, Mr. Latunji. Good afternoon, Mr. Kintayo. All right. Okay, we'll soon start as Ernest.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. Thank you for joining and thank you for your patience. We will start shortly, and the seminar is one of our series, a March version of it, and it's supposed to help us take us through gold as a good source of store of wealth, to safeguard our wealth, and how it can help us protect our wealth. And Dukia Gold is, we pride ourselves as the #1 trading platform, LBMA compliant in Nigeria, and is helping Nigerians to save, to take part in gold as an alternative source of wealth preservation. Today, we will take you through what is happening all over the world and how Nigerians can key into the gold assets. This is just to reinforce what we've been propagating, and there are new facts, new realities across the world that have shown that we are on the right track, and it is beneficial for Nigerians to key into gold as a form of wealth preservation, and especially safeguarding our future and our retirement life. So the structure for today, we would have the opening remarks and the welcome address, and then we'll have the main presentation. We'll have a quick overview of the trading platform, and then we will take the questions and answers and provide you with the answers to the questions. So if you have questions, you will type into the chat box, and we will try our best to give you full insights and to answer your questions as much as we can. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We will start fully just in a couple of minutes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, MD, for that brief overview on how the presentation will start like. Okay, my name is Emmanuel, and I'll be leading you through the couple of presentations you just heard from the managing director. and she'll still come up again to give just a welcome address for this presentation. Today, we are going to be talking about a very technical subject in the gold trading, on how gold affects everyone, especially in your personal savings plan. So we'll give a quick overview on how gold is very strategic in the national savings plan, of which most of you may have known or may have not known, and how gold can help you to save against all form of geopolitical and economic uncertainties. Also, we'll talk on how gold can enhance your national wealth, how gold can help you protect your personal wealth, and how gold can give you a meaningful future for yourself and for your families. To help us put emphasis on this topic, I'll be inviting the chairman of Dukia Gold, Mr. Tunde Favami, to just help clarify the topic to every one of you. Thank you so much. Chairman, sir.
Emmanuel.
Ma, I'm hearing. I'm all ears.
Can you rest this screen so that I'll put up?
I should stop sharing my screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. I must say I'm extremely grateful for the consistency with which you enjoyed the pleasure of your custom, and of course, your very keen participation at these workshops. Gold continues to be a major subject matter on the international scene, and of course, on the local scene, which is Nigeria. It is imperative that we continue to bring your kind attention to the value that gold has and the strength that it seems and indeed truly has in preserving wealth. Because this is a very holy month, the managing director in saying happy holy month to all our customers, Christians and Muslims alike. May we continue to receive the great blessings of Almighty God for all the prayers that we are putting in. And I would say once again that gold remains the largest national asset in terms of value and in terms of everything that we can talk about. It remains a strategic asset in the hands of governments, whether local or United States or Europe and or Canada. It's critical for the national savings plan. It's essential for enhancing wealth and creating, of course, perpetual wealth. Even the Queen of England, the only thing he handed over most to his new king and son is the fact that he kept a treasury full of gold. It protects your assets in ways that most of the new fiat currencies and or cryptocurrencies or perhaps capital assets and indeed federal government bonds and state government bonds are not able to do so. Therefore, I would say in very clear terms, there's nothing wrong with the Naira. What is basically wrong with the Naira today is the way in which we store it. And if we continue as individuals or as a nation to keep all our money in fiat currency, and if individuals also keep their money and their wealth and their future in fiat currency, one thing is happening. there is a dollar decline, there is a dollar debasement, there is the need to create the global economic agenda. And indeed, the dollar will no longer play a dominant role like it did. If everybody had held pound sterling 20 years ago, you would know that if you had £1, you would get $2. Today, if you hold the same pound, perhaps you will get $1.28, $1.3. The same thing for the euro. It's in fact worse if you had held the dollar itself. Between 1971 and 2026, the dollar itself has declined 87%. And therefore, when you rush to convert your naira into dollar, be aware that you are actually storing your wealth, your future, in a declining currency. And if you continue to do so, because every currency declines, maybe the rate of decline of the naira compared to the dollar is a bit skewed, but the truth be told, is the dollar or is the naira? The two of them are declining. So how do you go on a escalator that is going downstairs and you think you are climbing? Really, the speed at which you yourself are sinking and the speed at which the escalator is also taking you down is only going to compound your effort. And therefore, I would urge everyone to get ready at today's session to listen carefully on why you must leave this escalator and try to get on a different escalator called gold. Stop storing all of your wealth. Stop investing all of your time, effort, energy in any other thing apart from gold. It will be in your best interest to do so. Anyone who had invested in gold in 1971 knows today that if all you had on that day was $3.50, if you are to keep the same 1 ounce of gold all through the same period, what you will have in your hand today will be $3,000 at the minimum. And therefore, if you are trying to buy a car at maybe $10,000 in 1971, that same car will probably cost you close to $350,000. It's a fact that if you had also kept just $1 worth of gold, you perhaps have in excess of $670,000, $70,000 in terms of money value. Truth be told, the simple way, dollar will continue to decline. It's a fiat currency. For the extent that they keep printing more of it without backing it up with any real tangible asset, is bound to go lower and lower and lower. At the beginning of this year, the dollar traded at 1.3 against itself. As we speak, it's probably trading at 1.2 or thereabout. Given the many systemic changes and fundamental shifts in the economy of the world, especially the tariff rigging understanding of the United States, and of course, the fact that the world is going to have to rearm itself and have new currencies and new alignments and new ways of doing business, the dollar as a currency would indeed face a huge quantum of challenge. So will every currency in the world, whether it's euro, whether it's pound. Therefore, please, whatever you do, take a look at your portfolio and rebase your portfolio, diversify urgently into gold. On this, I would just like to say once again, I want to thank you all very, very much. And I would love for all of us to please take some time off today to listen to us. Emmanuel will make the presentation. Any questions that need, any clarification that we need to put forward, we'll be most delighted to do so. on behalf of all of us from Dukia Gold, very, very much for your custom and, of course, for believing in this asset class. Not many people understood what we were saying 2 years ago, but indeed, anyone who had put $49 away 3 years ago can easily tell you that $49 is $90 today. If anybody had put $60 away this time last year, that $60 is $90 today, if you had bought gold. There's no way you have put your dollar, $90 or $60 or $49 in a bank account and it will yield you the kind of interest and or return that gold is yielding. Gold is overperforming in the world. Gold will continue to overperform in the marketplace. Gold will continue to be a very strict, important store of value. On this happy note, therefore, let me hand the microphone back to you, Emmanuel, and thank everyone who has joined us. Once again, Ramadan Kareem to all of us, and happy Lenten season to all of us. God bless and keep us all. Thank you. Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Chairman, Mr. Tunde Fabemi, for that opening remark. And also, we thank you for giving us your time this Thursday afternoon to make this presentation. I will immediately start and give you the feedback for what I have for you. Okay, as the chairman rightly said, today's topic will be gold as a critical strategic asset in the National Savings and Personal Savings Plan. How gold can enhance not just your personal wealth, but the wealth of Nigeria as a whole, and how gold can provide insurance against geopolitical and economic uncertainties for everyone here. Be mindful that in this presentation, we'll be making some forward-looking statements and use of forward-looking terminology. So be rest assured that before you make any investment decision, you should please consult your financial advisor. But be rest assured that all the information given in this presentation are backed up by facts and figures that can be researched online. Okay, representing you, the team. You just heard from the chairman, Mr. Tunde Fabemi. Also, you heard from the managing director, and the chief operating officer, Mr. Paul, will be in this meeting, and other team members, including I, equally presenting to you. Okay, this is how the flow will look like. The chairman has given the aims and objectives of this presentation. Next, I will be discussing what is the National Savings Plan. Does Nigeria actually have a National Savings Plan, and what does it even mean? So I'll be describing what the National Savings Plan looks like and how it was actually implemented. I'll also describe what your personal savings plan looks like. I think personal savings plan is fairly easy to most people to understand. And I will just identify key features of what the National Savings Plan is. Then I will try to merge the objectives of the National Savings Plan and the personal savings plan, try to merge the two together and see how we can better discuss the points. Also, I'll give you current challenges in the National Savings Plan and what the National Savings Plans will do to make it better. Next, I'll introduce gold as strengthening the National Savings Plan. I'll give for information on why gold is necessary to actually benefit your personal savings and Nigeria as a whole. Also, I'll talk about how gold is a wealth protection and insurance mechanism. So it's going to be a bit technical, but trust me, I've made this presentation as easy and straightforward for you to actually follow. Now, I'll be inviting the managing director for the opening remark. MD, you have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. And it's my pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the Dukia team to this seminar on gold as a critical strategic asset in Nigeria and in Nigeria's savings plan. In a world where there is so much uncertainty, gold has remained a stable and trusted store of value, as the chairman already said. So gold is therefore more than just a commodity. It's a shield, it's a safe haven in times of this uncertainty, and a bridge between traditional wealth preservation and modern financial inclusion. And we all know that central banks have continued to increase their gold holdings. And if central banks are doing that, it tells us that we as individuals should follow
It's for me to
and
sign or MD.
do likewise.
MD.
So we therefore believe it's time for Nigerians, be they institutional investors, the pension
Is ready to
funds,
take this thing.
and us as individuals, to make gold as part of our everyday savings, and so that we can have the opportunities and benefits of gold investments as obtainable elsewhere in the world. So today's conversation is especially timely for us as Nigerians, as we explore ways to deepen domestic savings, bring gold into everyday Nigerians' financial journey, and creating pathways for individuals and institutions to save smarter, hedge wisely, and invest confidently. So we would also address the need to diversify our national reserves and empower citizens to protect our earnings. So today's topic is one that we believe so much in. It's close to our hearts and vital to our nation's economic resilience. So Dukia Gold, your number one gold trading platform, LBMA compliant, as we witnessed firsthand the transformative potential of using trading platforms to trade gold, and we continue to bring this to Nigerians, and we continue to also improve and use technology in ways that will be beneficial to all our customers. So we believe that today's presentation will help us in building our state, fostering stability and empowering generation come. I would like to encourage you to listen through, and if you have questions, note them. We'll take your questions at the end of the presentation. As I mentioned earlier, we will do a small demo of the platform after Emmanuel's presentation, and then we'll take all the questions. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the presentation. Thank you. Emmanuel, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Ma, for that welcome address. I'll begin the presentation as soon as possible. Okay, now this is a graphical representation of what gold did throughout the year of 2024. And 2024 was a very interesting year because a lot of things happened both on the economies in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And we saw a lot of ups and downs in the stock markets, in the real estate markets. And we can see from proof why gold illustrates and performs better than all other asset classes. From this chart, you could see that gold did a return of 421.5% from December 2024 year till date. So if you invested maybe 100,000 naira in gold on January 2024, January 1st, 2024, on December 31st, 2024, you receive 421,500 naira without doing anything, without touching the gold, without seeing anything. It shows clearly, in clear terms, why gold performed better than other asset classes. Also, you can see that if you invested in dollar, if you had bought dollars physically, either from the BDC or from any bank and kept it, you would see a nominal return of 69.23%. Now, accounting for inflation, which was at 23% in December, you would have made a real return of plus 35%. Now, if you check the Nigerian Exchange Group, or what you fondly call the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and invested in their assets, the all-share index from January to December 2024 performed at 37.65%. But that was actually marred by inflation at 34% to give a real return of 3.7 plus 3.77%. Now, if you borrow the federal government's money, which we fondly call the federal government 10-year bond, you would have made a nominal return of 15.5%. But considering the rate of inflation, inflation would have definitely eaten out and eaten more than enough of that money that you deposited with the federal government and giving you a real return of minus 18.38%. Now, the monetary policy rate in December 2024 was 18.75%. So the CBN was willing to lend you money at 18.75%. And we all clearly know that nobody borrows from the CBN. Everybody borrows from a commercial bank. So a commercial bank will either charge you high or lower than this. But in all best scenarios, you would have made a real return of minus 15.13%. So considering all these asset classes, the stocks from the all-share index of the Nigerian Exchange Group, even buying your famous USD and keep it in the bank, you can see that gold clearly gives a far more effective return on your investment than most of the other asset classes. Clearly, if you would have borrowed money or lent money to a commercial bank or even to the central bank, your real return on that money would be a minus 15%. And if you were investing in the 10-year government bond, as the debt management office calls it, you would have made a real return of minus 18%. So this small pictorial representation shows why we are definitely advocating for people to diversify their assets in gold. Because on a real terms, you could get far better value of your money in you diversified in gold. Now, currently, we also have the statistics for 2025, which I'll be showing you in the course of this presentation. But this just shows you how gold is a far valuable asset than most other asset classes that we recommend. Now, what is the National Savings Plan? For those who are not aware, it's a financial initiative introduced by the Central Bank and the Securities and Exchange Commission to encourage a culture of structured savings and long-term investments among Nigerians. It was upheld in 2006 by Dr. Mrs. Shade Alede, the Director of Banking Operations in CBN, and the primary goal was to mobilize domestic savings and reduce Nigeria's dependence on foreign capital. So after they searched around Nigeria and they noticed that Nigeria didn't have a culture of savings, they instituted the national savings plans to encourage people to actually save by giving them benefits for saving. So they created a framework, the CBN and the SEC created a framework whereby people can begin to save and begin to get value for their money. And getting value for their money means that if you save with us, the central bank, we'll use your money to invest in regulated savings instruments like bonds, like treasury bills, like mutual funds, very low risk instruments that can actually give you a predictable return on your money. So it was a wonderful initiative by the central bank, which is still in effect today. And I'm bringing this to your notice to show you that the National Savings Plan was created for your own good. Now, what are the objectives? I listed its objective into points. Was to increase the national savings rate. That means encourage Nigeria's domestic savings as a share of GDP to support investment. And also, the National Savings Plan was to mobilize capital for development. Instead of depending on the foreign revenue from the sales of oil and oil-related products, they could actually channel savings from Nigerians to build infrastructure like roads, hospitals, schools, directly from Nigerians. So it was an initiative to gather as enough capital for national development. Also, it was to deepen financial inclusion, bringing as many of Nigerians from the villages, from the towns, from the cities, from every walks of life into the formal financial sector. Also, it was to reduce poverty and promote self-reliance by saving with the CBN or the SEC and then giving you back a return on your savings. It will actually make you, instead of depending on borrowing money, to actually begin to build financial independence. As I rightly said, it was to promote a culture of savings because the National Savings Plan was created and instituted to instill long-term financial discipline among Nigerians and encourage Nigerians to actually save more. Also, it was to provide an alternative to risky investment schemes. And this one was actually a no-brainer because many people are not really acquainted with how the difference between an investment and not an investment. The National Savings Plan was created to help people actually get value from their money by providing a predictable return on that money by the central bank. Okay, now there are basic features of the National Savings Plan when it was instituted. When the CBN and the SEC started as far back as 2006 to create the National Savings Plan, there were some descriptions and features that actually made it open for everyone to actually participate. One was that it was open to all Nigerians. So far you were, even if your parents are from other countries, or even if you're a dual citizenship, or a dual citizen, I mean, it was so far you have legal rights to being a Nigerian, it was open to you. So if you're born in Nigeria and raised in Nigeria, you will have access to the
I'm 36 years old, and the girl in this video is 19. And the reason why I like young.
You have access to the National Savings Plan. Now, the plan promoted flexible contributions. So it was not strictly that you could invest only 1 million naira. So you can even invest as daily as 200 naira, as 500 naira, 1,000 naira. So it was basically flexible to each and everyone for access. Now, it was a digital first approach. Now, you could go to your local bank, even the commercial banks you have, or any fintech platform, or any designated agent you have, and become a part of this National Savings Plan. And okay, where is your money actually being used? The funds are actually now managed by licensed institutions under the supervision of the CBN. So your money is not just invested in any investment scheme, by the way. It would be managed under the supervision of the CBN to make sure that the returns on your investments will actually be very, very predictable. Also, it was goal-based savings options, incorporated goal-based savings options, meaning that you can begin to save for your rent, you can begin to save for your school fees, you can begin to save for your business capital, and you can begin to save for any other walks of life. It was very trackable and transparent, and it was also integrated with cooperative societies. Most of your famous Ajo and Esusu groups to actually encourage everyone to be a part of the webinar. So that's it from the National Savings Plan. Now you get into the Personal Savings Plan. Now, everyone here either has a family, or either you're starting a family or you have a family, one of those two groups. So the Personal Savings Plan is just an informal way of where individuals or families can set aside part of your income for emergencies or investments. It's the formal thing you do if you get a job or employment. You begin to take a part of that income personally without any compulsion from your employer to begin to save for investments. You can begin to save the famous book, The Richest Man in Babylon, Encourage 10. I know some people do as much as 20%, 30%, 40% of their savings, but this was a plan for you. You have to actually institute this in your household or as an individual to begin to monitor your finances. And clearly, it's flexible. You can begin to save either daily or weekly or monthly, as the case may be. It was goal-based. Most people were saving for emergencies or weddings or formal invitations or even birthdays. And it can be done through your banks. You can actually open a savings account with every commercial bank in Nigeria or every fintech platform in Nigeria. And clearly, you can even contribute as a group within your family to save for other purposes. Now, the common savings channels in Nigeria are very strict. You can use your commercial bank service. Everyone in this webinar most likely would have a bank account, and that bank account you have a structured personal savings plan for you. You can just go and pick up your phone and call your account officer and ask, okay, what are the personal savings plan by so bank for me? And they will give you a list of personal savings options. Also, you can save with microfinance institutions. All the whole microfinance banks in Nigeria support personal savings plan where you can begin to save your money either for a wedding, or you want to pay a school fees, or you want to relocate, or you want to create a birthday or an event. And also, most people actually use traditional informal schemes to save. We know the famous Ajo, Esusu, or rotational savings common in Nigeria, and include mobile apps too. Most people actually save in mobile apps. You have the famous Dukia Gold and Piggyverse, Cowrywise, and all other fintech applications that are creating a culture where people can save. And most importantly, why do you even save? Although that's a very sarcastic question, but why do you save? There are reasons why you save. Personally, it's just to build a culture of financial discipline, whereby you have enough money to actually meet needs as they come arise. It supports micro investments and entrepreneurship. Most of you who have a business or who are starting a business could actually save money to run the business and run other operations in the business. Most importantly, savings gives you access to credit. Now, if you are trying to expand your operations or to buy other investment platforms, savings gives you the power of your savings, gives you an avenue to actually get more funding from a bank, from a friend, or from a family member. Because if family members know that you have been saving money for a while, they are far more eager to give you money because they know that definitely you will repay. And also encourages financial inclusion, especially for unbanked populations. Now, okay, how does this national savings plan and personal savings plan merge? Which I mean by goal congruence. The goal congruence means that the national objective of increasing domestic savings by the CBN is supported by the individual or household behavior of consistently saving money. Okay, now the federal government wants people to save. It has created a plan where people can save. Now, how can we make sure that individuals are also motivated to consistently save so that we can now use their savings to meet all our economic and national development plans? And that's why this slide is pointing to goal congruence. Of course, the National Savings Plan is mobilizing domestic capital, is encouraging financial inclusion, and is providing a structured way for people to save. How do we meet it for people who are planning to save for emergency? How do we use it to solve people who are planning to save for a business? How do we use it to solve people who are striving to save for their cooperatives or even for housing, for their rent? How do we make sure that our objective of increasing domestic savings in Nigeria is actually supported by people who are consistently saving money? Means that, first and foremost, it means that first they have to be more focused on saving more money. So National Savings Plan created groups and platforms and interest rates for you to actually consistently save. It also focuses on that long-term goals need long-term savings. That means as you begin to save for long-term, the CBN, the National Bank, and the Securities and Exchange Commission can begin to mobilize these funds for national development. And also, it shared benefits in formal platforms. Clearly, if you want to save, you are going to use either an app or either a bank or either a cooperative society or whatever means. And for the CBN, it makes sure that can actually now monitor how much money is coming from different sources. Okay, if people are saving in banks more, can we create a platform whereby we can actually measure their savings, actually measure and give better returns to bankers. Oh, if people feel free investing in cooperative societies and like the Arjo and Isusu, can we create a structure whereby the cooperative societies or the fifth societies can actually get far more funding? Also, it creates better mutual reinforcement and a better household balance sheet supports the national economy. That meaning that the national economy can have so much money that it can actually reduce its dependence on borrowing or on waiting for the exchange of oil. And you as an individual, it can actually reduce your disagreeing on relying on loans or debt. So even though the National Savings Plan was mutual benefits to everyone, they also created, there's a better disalignment with the National Savings Plans. As I've given you so much information on why the National Savings Plan was beneficial for you, the problem with the National Savings Plan was that they were investing in platforms that were basically low risks. So inflation actually came. The price of goods are actually increasing dramatically, exponentially, but people are not getting far better returns from their investments. You can actually invest, like I showed you in the beginning of the slide, that you can actually give the federal government 100,000 naira for 10 years to actually build a road in a rural community. But okay, if the federal government now wants to give you back the 100,000 naira, what amount would they give you? Clearly, from the slide I showed earlier, that you are seeing a negative return on investment. So even if the federal government gives you 110,000 naira after 10 years, you have noticed that the inflation has actually eaten a far chunk of that money. What you would have used 110,000 naira to buy, if the federal government has given you earlier, you can't use that amount to buy it again. So the disalignment now occurs when the capitals and interest rates cannot actually commensurate with the rate of inflation. So apart from the National Savings Plan, the CBN also created far better strategies for people to save. We created the National Financial Inclusion Strategy to enable rural governments to actually participate in the savings account. It created the National Economic Empowerment and Development Strategy for giving people a platform to actually save. It also created the federal government savings bond and various economic indices where you can actually monitor the return of your investments. And clearly, in December 2023, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, the savings rate increased to about 34.6%, which shows that people are now beginning to trust the financial institutions more. People are now beginning to save more, and people have seen that saving money is a far better return on their lives. But as I mentioned earlier, there are a bit of challenges with the National Savings Plan. And the problem is that many people are not really aware of it. I know some of you have been financially verified and financial experts for a couple of years. So you could have a glimpse of what the National Savings Plan looks like. But apart from you, how many people now knows that CBN and the SEC have a National Savings Plan for them? Most people will never ever come in contact with that. So the CBN has a good job of increasing the public awareness of the plan. And as I mentioned earlier, the CBN is going to fight inflation because the returns is actually giving people from their money. It's not commensurate with the value of the money. So inflation rate was 23.18% according to the rebased value in February 2025. So will it give me a value if I save 100,000 naira now in March and wait till the end of the year? How much will I get in return? Will I get far more, or will the amount I'll get at the end of the year balance the inflation rate? That's the question people are beginning to ask. So that fear of things growing at an astronomical rate and things becoming so expensive that people cannot begin to buy discourages them from investing and saving in formal financial institutions. Also, the National Savings Plan relies on very fiat-based financial products, as I mentioned earlier, like bonds, treasury bills, and these instruments are susceptible to inflation and do not provide the same wealth protection as gold, real estate, and commodities. And this is why we actually put this webinar to illustrate to you that the National Savings Plans was definitely firm and okay, but clearly it had its challenges. And we are teaching this to actually encourage you as an individual to, even if we take a while to get the economies of Nigeria and CBN to incorporate gold into their national savings plan because of its value, you as a personal individual, as a family, as a household, need to take the first step and begin to invest in gold for your savings. Okay, the fourth challenge was the low savings rates and consumption-oriented economy. Most people are actually living paycheck to paycheck. For people earning, I heard a minimum wage of 70,000 naira. I don't know whether it has been implemented. For people who are actually living hand to mouth and supporting their families with a minimum wage of 70,000 naira, how effective is that going? Most people cannot afford to save because they don't have nothing to even save. And also, another major challenge is lack of incentives. The attractive interest rates and inflation-protected returns are not deficit. And the last one is the trust deficit in financial institutions. Most people don't actually trust the formal banks. You could begin to save money and the bank crashes, like Heritage Bank did, or the bank has a network error, which makes sure that you actually don't get the return on your investment. So this webinar is actually introduce you why gold is essential for the National Savings Plan, and why gold is essential for you as an individual, as a household, as the person in charge of your family savings to actually begin to invest in gold. The chart I showed you in the beginning of this presentation, I've given you clear reasons why you should do it. And we are actually buttressing this to you, showing you that gold in 2024 did far better than the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And there's proof. It did far better than the federal government savings bond. It's proof. It did far better than any monetary policy rate of the CBN throughout 2024. And there's proof. So gold is a very critical asset for you as an individual, you as an investor, you that's actually taking charge of your families to begin to hedge your portfolio, to begin to safeguard your retirement assets, and to begin to actually balance returns on what you have to offer. And here are a few basic reasons why gold is essential. It's universal acceptance. Clearly, gold is accepted in any major form of environment, from Nigeria to Switzerland to United States to China to Dubai to Australia. Clearly, everyone accepts gold. In 1970, the currency was actually disbanded for gold. So everyone has a unique sense of why gold is necessary for the economy. Even in ancient civilizations, as far back as the Bible days, the Quran days, and every other day, gold was actually necessary for use to as a financial asset. The second is gold has intrinsic value. Gold is gold because it's precious in itself, what I mean. So it's as valuable because it is not clearly found as you find a rock or a stone. To actually get pure gold, you need a lot of processes to actually make gold that will be safe and secure. So this range of processes that are very technical and very costly makes gold worth value in itself. Also, gold is a hedge against inflation. Gold helps you to diversify and protect your portfolio. Gold gives you independence from political risks and protection. Gold has no credit risk. It doesn't need to be countersigned by the CBN governor like every other Naira currency you have. If you check your Naira notes, you see a unique signature by the CBN governor authenticating the fact that Naira is credible. But gold doesn't need all that authentication. Clearly, if you can verify it with an extra advanced analyzer and certify that it is actually gold, it's a medium of exchange of value all over the globe. Also, gold doesn't suffer from currency devaluation. Gold is not actually decreasing the way the Naira is decreasing according to the dollar. It doesn't suffer from those up and down charts that you use in checking the Naira and the dollar. And gold is not suffering from trade risks. You can take a piece of metal, a piece of gold, either in form of a jewelry or a wristwatch or a chain or a bangle, and travel across the world and exchange and get real currency in return. Now, why is gold essential for the National Savings Plan? The first and foremost, and the biggest one, is because of its value to hedge against inflation. As already mentioned earlier, gold actually did 121% increase throughout the year. And currently, from this chart, gold is actually doing a point in plus 19.33% across board. So we are seeing in 2025 that gold is actually increasing in value. Clearly, if you check the price of gold on the Dukia Gold website, currently is actually $3,056 an ounce. So, and this was around 27 in December. So in December of 2024. So the ability of gold to increase intrinsically and to begin to hedge an inflation for you as an individual makes it a potent tool for the National Savings Plan. And I know that in this webinar, we have people from all walks of life, and from major financial institutions. And this webinar, I hope, enlightens you why gold is necessary, is critical for the National Savings Plan, and most importantly, for you who are actually trying to hedge against inflation. Second, gold can enhance Nigeria's financial stability and foreign reserves. We recently got news that in February, Nigerian foreign reserves were down by $2.2 billion. So actively, in real sense, the central bank has been actually depleting, according to news, depleting the Nigeria's foreign reserves to actually balance the Naira. And that's why the Naira was seeming to beat against the dollar. But how long can this continue? We begin to ask. If Nigeria begins to pay attention as a country to gold and expand its gold reserves, clearly it will actually boost its foreign reserves and increase financial stability in the country. And this is not even new. Go to the People's Bank of China, which have been actively buying gold since August of 2024. Go to the Federal Reserve, who have actually been investing in gold. Major banks of major institutions are actually trying to increase their gold reserves. And if major institutions outside Nigeria are doing the same, the CBN can also do the same, can begin to focus its attention on gold, increasing its gold reserves so that gold can actually be able to balance and give Nigeria its financial stability. Also, gold is a safe haven asset in global market turbulence. Clearly, the major source of exchange in Nigeria is mainly crude oil. So as Nigeria sells crude oil to foreign exchange, it gets value, which it uses to increase and boost overall economic stability. But if you promote gold as an investment, you don't need to wait for the counterparty abroad to actually receive your oil reserves. Gold is intrinsically valuable. So if you begin to pay attention to gold, it would reduce your vulnerability to actually borrowing money and waiting for the exchange of oil reserves to actually boost your economic portfolio. The fourth is it can strengthen Nigeria's capital markets and promote financial inclusion. Clearly, and this is what Dukia Gold is trying to do. Gold can actually give, if you invest in gold as an individual, which Dukia Gold has created, we have currently created a way where you can invest in gold with as little as 5,000 naira. Clearly. So we've differentiated everyone from the haves and the have-nots so that every Nigerian that has access to a bank account can begin to create a gold portfolio so that your inflation and financial instruments can be reserved. For Nigeria to introduce gold-backed savings bonds, which Dukia Gold has already created, and allowing citizens to invest in low-risk assets can give guaranteed value retention without requiring physical storage. So Dukia Gold has created a means where you, as an individual, can invest in gold as low as 5,000 naira. So you don't need to settle down and think, oh, the price is $3,000 an ounce, I can't invest. No. With it 5,000 naira, a minimum of 5,000 naira, you can begin to start and hedge your portfolio against devaluation. Also, what would gold do for Nigeria? Is to boost Nigeria's gold mining industry. We want to actually praise the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, Honorable Dele Henry Alake, for actually focusing on boosting Nigeria's foreign reserves through solid minerals. But clearly, gold can give Nigeria its boost. In major countries, there are only major two extractive industries. What we call oil and gas in Nigeria is called the extractive industry. and it's still as valuable as what solid minerals can do. In Canada, we have the extractive industry, not the oil and gas industry. In the United States, it's called the extractive industry, which is composed of two main parts, solid minerals and oil. So if every country is paying attention to the solid mineral sector, Nigeria should actually pay attention to gold to give its government higher royalties, to provide more jobs, and give more economic opportunities in mining communities. So in essence, gold in Nigeria can protect wealth and savings against deflation, which it's clearly doing for you. Gold in Nigeria can strengthen financial stability, which is actually due for you. Gold can enhance investment security, which you can actually boost your own financial security by investing in gold. Both can create economic diversification from Nigeria's oil and expand credit assets. Clearly, if you can see from this chart, gold has done tremendously well. From 1970, it was delinked from the US dollar. Gold has performed definitely well, increasing to about $3,056 an ounce. So for you as an individual looking to give far more credibility to your savings, you as an individual that is seeking to hedge your assets against deflation, maybe you are seeking to retire and you want to retire in peace and harmony, or maybe you have children that are planning to go to school, or maybe your rent is coming up at the end of the year. If you are looking for an asset that can give you tremendous returns, if you're looking for an asset that can actually give you credibility, if you're looking for an asset that can actually give you rest of mind, an asset that won't be changed by the inflation figures released by the CBN every month, but an asset that can actually give you financial stability, that asset is actually gold. So for you as an individual, investing in gold is not a matter of maybe, it's a matter of urgency. You need to now speak with your financial advisor and begin to think how to diversify most of your assets in gold. We do not recommend that you take all your savings from real estate, from debt, from the federal government bonds, from stocks, and put it in gold. Clearly, as bullion merchants, we advise you actually invest 20 to 30% of your investment portfolio in gold. And this will actually give you the far better returns that you need. In essence, why you should invest in gold is because of its performance, its portfolio balance, its inflation hedge, its safe haven, and its private wealth. All right, we go into gold as a wealth protection and insurance mechanism. Can gold actually insure us against economic uncertainties? Because currently the world is going under various economic uncertainties. Donald Trump can just release a statement and everybody's assets is tanking. If you notice that Tesla actually recorded a loss over a couple of years, even though it's benefiting from the Donald Trump policy and administration. So what best can we do? How can we better protect ourselves from the economic uncertainties of the global market and economic uncertainties of Nigeria? We don't know how much, currently the fuel price is reducing, but we don't know if it will increase later on. We don't know how the exchange rate is performing. So we need the platform to actually give us that credibility. And I'm here to discuss with you why gold is actually the best form for you. As mentioned earlier, gold is a hedge against inflation. It actually provides a hedge against currency devaluation. And also, very importantly, it's a highly liquid asset. I know most people actually think that, okay, if I get gold today, I can't go to Singapore and exchange it in their currency. I'll have to get their currency. The rest assured that gold is highly liquid than even the euro that you know, than even the USD that you know. Gold is universally accepted by every major country in the world. If I carry gold with me, even if it's a gold watch, and go to Dubai and say, I want cash, take this gold watch, clearly they will give me value for my money. So you don't need to worry about, oh, if you're holding gold. And most people actually like convenience. You can't hold 1 kilogram of gold in your pocket. So we've created a platform where you can actually see your gold investments and get returns for it immediately, as soon as possible. A major advantage of gold is the diversification, meaning that it won't be affected, it's negatively correlated with all other asset classes. That means it doesn't depend on what is going on by the Trump administration or the APC-led administration. It doesn't depend on what's going on the real estate market. It doesn't depend on what's going on with anybody, but it has clearly given you a value and a huge return for your investments. And also, gold is a store of value. We notice that for those of you who here are grandparents, notice that our great-grandparents actually gave our grandparents jewelry when they were getting married. And our parents actually passed it to us down through tradition. So it was a form of storing their value, their net worth, so to speak, in an asset that doesn't depreciate. Even as far back, some of our great-grandparents, they never gave us their naira when we were getting married. They actually gave us jewelry and gold, meaning that gold is universally accepted as a store of value. Other disadvantage is that gold can be volatile. I know I've contacted a lot of people here and they immediately tell me how gold fluctuates at the time. And I tell them, you don't need to look at the gold price and see how it's performing because of the changes in market policies, in economic conditions. It's very volatile on the short term. But clearly, in 1 year, you've seen a return of 121.5%. Clearly, how much more will you see in 2 years? How much more will you see in 3 years? So, although it's volatile in the short term, it's actually giving you a far better return on the investment in the long term. Also, gold doesn't generate dividend income. So, the value of your assets is directly tied to the value of the gold intrinsically. So, you're not getting like a famous dividend, what the famous stocks listed on the Nigerian Exchange Group do, giving you dividend for your money. Gold doesn't give you dividend. It just hedges your portfolio. And if you want to see the value of your portfolio, just see it on your platform. Now, buying physical gold requires secure storage because clearly, if 1 gram of gold is currently about $100, currently 98.24, you can actually find a better way to actually store and secure that gram of gold. And with Dukia Gold, we are vaulting our gold in one of the most safest and most secure places in the world. So you don't need to be worried about, okay, my gold will get lost. It won't get lost, clearly. Even if Dukia Gold falls, which won't happen, your gold is safely stored in a vault, which you can actually get access to, by the way. And gold doesn't require a counterparty risk. Clearly, most people, to invest in a stock, they have to go to, okay, a dealer or a platform. But with Dukia Gold, we have given you access to those intermediaries in full. We've cut the chain for people to not only just know about gold, but begin to invest in gold from the head start. Also, this is like a table showing you how gold is related to even real estate. It has a strong inflation protection as compared to real estate or bonds. It's not very volatile, has low volatility compared to stocks. If a common policy by a president can affect the rate of a stock, but gold doesn't have that. It is very, very liquid as compared to real estate. That means even if you want to sell gold immediately, you actually get value for your money as compared to doing real estate, which we encourage people to invest in gold for long. But clearly, it doesn't have passive income. Gold is not giving you dividends the way stocks do, quote unquote. And it has a very strong hedge against crisis and has a very high growth potential and requires no maintenance. It doesn't require you to be maintaining. It doesn't require you to be changing. It only requires you to sit back at the comfort of your homes and monitor. Okay, this was the verified news when gold actually increased to $3,000 an ounce. And integrating wealth, most importantly, integrating gold in Nigeria's wealth protection and insurance will protect savings. So clearly, the National Savings Plan was instituted by the central bank. And okay, they are trying to encourage people to save, but people are wondering that, oh, inflation is actually eating up my money. Even if I give you 100,000 naira today and you call yourself the debt management office, promising me a return of 15%, if I balance that with inflation, I'm not going to get far better value for my money. So what do? You want me to save, but I want an interest rate that is actually far better than what you are giving me. And the only way that the federal government, that the Securities and Exchange Commission, that the CBN can begin to give individuals far better value for their money is using gold. No questions asked, no call for clarification, because in hedging against inflation, unless CBN wants to move to a dollarized economy, which clearly it won't do it, But in hedging against inflation and giving individuals, giving you in this webinar, a far better return of your money, it's going to be through gold. So if the CBN begins to not only consider, but implement gold as a matter of national importance for the savings plans of you and I, we can begin to give and guarantee citizens a far better return on their value. And clearly, okay, it will take a long time for the CBN to get there. Okay, even if we meet with the CBN governor today, it take a lot of implementation. But for you as an individual, how can you better give far better value to your kids and your grandkids? How can you better begin to hedge your retirement portfolio? How can you better begin to give trust for your credit? It is only going to be using gold. And gold has actually showed us that it can deliver value on returns. I didn't go to the charts of 2023. I just focused on 2024 because 2023 was when the administration came into power, and you will even be so shocked on the inflation indices for 2023. But for 2024, where we feel the administration stabilized, gold has actually performed far better than even the national indices, the economic indices of the central bank. And investing gold for you should begin to be considered as soon as this webinar is actually concluded. As soon as this webinar is concluded, you begin to actually think of how you can begin to hedge your portfolio and how you can get to guarantee your future with gold. Okay, now we go to implementation strategies and policy recommendations, because we have several financial experts in the chat. Okay, we need regulatory support from CBN and SEC. Dukia Gold is actually, although we are licensed and we are regulated by the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, we are trying to give Nigerians a better future. And so we are going to be partnering with the CBN and the SECs to establish clear policies for gold. We have these policies. We have created the platform. We have created the automation where people can invest in gold. But it needs to be national, not just for our benefit, for the benefit of all Nigerians in this webinar. Because clearly, most of us will still invest in stocks and bonds. But we need the investment asset that can actually give us financial stability. And that investment asset is gold. Not would be gold, is gold already. And we need regulatory support from the CBN and SECs to begin to recognize gold as a formal financial institution. According to the Basel III, the Basel III documentation from all international financial bodies, gold is actually, after cash, it's gold. Gold is actually being recognized as a formal financial asset. But we have seen that Nigeria is still trying to catch up. And our job at Dukia Gold is make Nigeria catch up to the reality that gold is as secondary to any investment asset as cash is. Also, we need public-private partnerships. Also at Dukia Gold, we have partnered with a lot of financial institutions to be enabled to actually, for you to be enabled to invest in gold using Nairas. So, and that is done through our platform. We're actually partnering with a lot of mining companies to support domestic gold supply and involving insurance companies. Our previous webinar was on the PENCOM industry, the pension fund industry. So we are involving with many financial institutions why gold needs to be seen for its value that it contains. And clearly, in every developed emerging market currencies, gold has performed far better than all the others. In Nigeria, it was 125%. In the Egyptian pound, it was 109.1%. For Venezuela, it's 4%. Even in Brazil, gold is 2%. There is clearly no bank that will give you 121.5% on your investments. There is no bank that will do that. There's no Ponzi scheme that will do that. Even if a Ponzi scheme tries to try, it's a fake. But the only scheme, quote and unquote, that can give you a far better return on your money is gold. And as taken from our previous webinar we did, if the Nigerian Pension Fund, PENCOM, actually allocates 5% of their valuation into gold, they would have made a whooping sum of 23.8 trillion naira, as opposed to the 22.5 trillion naira that they posted on their website. Even if they did 10% of gold, you would have made a total of 25.26 trillion naira. And from the previous webinar, we showed you a graphical illustration of how gold would have actually helped double the pension fund by just investing in gold. And this investing in gold, you don't need to be monitoring the account. You don't need to be worrying about your security. You don't need to be checking your value. You don't need to be furnishing it like real estate. You don't need to be checking whether the CEO of a corporate organization is performing or not. Gold has intrinsic value. And this value has given to as many Nigerians as possible. Also, the third implementation strategy is technology and innovation, using also digital gold tokens and mobile and fintech platforms and AI-driven pricing models, and which clearly Dukia Gold has done. On our website, you can have a pricing model that sees clear value of your pricing. You have a chart that you see how clear gold is increasing or decreasing. You can have a platform that you automate and you navigate through seamlessly. A lot of people have registered through the platform without me even taking through them, although a lot of people are not tech savvy and I had to follow them through the process. But clearly, if I send anyone a link to the website, they know exactly what to do. I don't need to even tell them, except those who are quote unquote not tech savvy. And clearly, we have a vaulting and storage platform that gives you far better return on your investment than all others in Nigeria. So the three basic recommendations for any policy advisor here or any major financial institution expert here is to begin to partner, think about how you can offer your services, offer credibility to the many Nigerians under you by telling them to invest in gold. Dukia Gold has already created the platform, so you don't need to even worry. You can just come, see the website, which will be on the chat, and we'll navigate through the whole process. Clearly, the website is new.dukiapreciousmetals.co. And don't worry, I'm going to take you through the website at the end of this webinar when we are taking our questions and answers. Okay, these are just basic charts from the In Gold We Trust report, the foremost authority on gold in Nigeria. Currently, in March 2025, from year to date, gold has done a 6.4%, which I'm actually hovering on the screen. If you can see, this was March 2025 from January to March. When 2024, as I've fondly been saying, it did 121.5%, which you can actually see on the screen. And these reports are clearly verifiable. So you can go online and search for In Gold We Trust. It's a report on the foremost authority on gold, and you see clearly all the charts written. From 2023, it did a whopping 97% in the Nigerian Naira. In 2023, no bank gave approximately 100% on your return. No Ponzi scheme gave you 100% on return. Only gold did. So for other developed market currencies, from March 2025 year to date, gold has done an 8.9% in USD, 8.12% in global British pounds, and 8.7% in the euro. So it's not only Nigeria that is actually feeling the blessing of gold increasing in value. Other countries are actually feeling it, and their currencies actually illustrated in this chart. In 2024, in other developed market currencies, it did 28.7% in USD, 28.6% in GBP, and 34.2% in the euros. In 2023, 11.6, 6.9, 9.7. So in the beginning of the year, till date, gold actually gave the positive value for your return. And for you as an individual watching this, for you that is thinking of how to provide for your next meal, or how to pay for your rent, or how to save for your children's school fees, or you're about to retire, or you're about to think of how to even relocate, gold is the best platform for you as an individual. You need to, as a matter of urgency, speak with your financial advisor and begin to allocate some of your resources into gold. It is not a plea. Those who are being, we know that we are trying to even convince people to see gold as an investment back in the years, but most people are not seeing the need why you should invest in gold. We've been here since 2013, and we've been consistently preaching about the good news of gold to all Nigerians. And clearly, the charts show that Nigerians have seen value. Most of you in this webinar are previous and current customers and are soon to be customers. So you can be seeing why gold is necessary for people, Nigerians, to actually invest. And Dukia Gold is actually LBMA compliant, and LBMA is just a word for London Bullion Market Association, the foremost authority regulating auditing and rigorously sourcing gold and other precious metals in the world. So when we fondly say Dukia Gold is LBMA compliant, that means we are accredited by the foremost authority on gold in the world. So our responsible sourcing program follows the World Gold Council and the OECD and the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, which we are regulated under. So we attached all these logos to show you that we are now actually giving you gold that is not following strict rules, because for you to sell investment grade gold, you have to be strictly rules. And that's why I even convince people, instead of buying gold from your local malam on the street or from a shop or from a store, you actually need to invest in gold from a platform that are actually recognizable and verifiable. And the best platform you can use is Dukia Gold. So there are some risk factors to owning gold, which I said earlier. You only need to patronize only approved gold bullion merchants, because I've been in this industry for so long, and we now know how quote and unquote funny the industry can be, how people are duped in buying gold that is not actually gold. Somebody selling you 10 grams of gold, meanwhile you're actually buying 9 grams. So we only need you to patronize only approved gold bullion merchants. If you don't have the technical expertise to begin to see between the lines and monitor a gold trade, the best you can do is partner with a gold approved bullion merchant, which is Dukia Gold, and ensure they have an office in Nigeria with a valid MSMD license. Our licensing, accreditation is all rock solid, and confirm that their stock of their gold and precious metal products and their trading, distribution, and fulfillment channels comply with the LBMA, which we have actually done. So you can see the stock of our gold products on our website, and Dukia Gold actually does it for you. So for you, I know I was speaking to Nigeria as a whole, but for you as an individual, you need to begin to see gold as a necessary value for yourself and for your families. Most of you will be either in your retirement or you're planning to retire. Most of you would either have school fees to pay or you've done paying school fees. But clearly, everyone will still be going to the market to buy food. But the value of inflation is telling on that asset that you're keeping. And the only reliable asset for you to actually give credibility to your worth is gold. And with Dukia Gold, we have given you a creditable and trustworthy platform for you to invest in gold as an individual. Let us work on integrating gold into the national savings plans. For you, take ownership of your life and begin as a matter of urgency to invest in gold. In essence, gold has universal acceptance, gold has intrinsic value, it's a safe haven asset, hedges against inflation, supports portfolio diversification, is independent from political risks. No political governor can come and ransack how gold works in the markets. Clearly not possible. It has global market acceptability. It has no credit risk. It cannot be countersigned. We are not waiting for the signature of the central bank of the world to come and sign gold to be original. Clearly not. It doesn't have relation to the sovereign debt. It cannot be devalued like your normal fiat currency, naira or gold, and it has no trade risks. So thank you for paying attention, for giving me your time, your attention to actually stay with me through this webinar. Thank you so much. And we'll take the Q&A while I bring up the new Dukia Precious Metals platform. Thank you.
Congratulations, Emmanuel. And I must thank you very, very much for a good job well done. It's a call to action. It's a call to service. It's an essential aspect of life that you have discussed. First, there's nothing wrong with the Naira. And because there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Naira, what is important is that you must find where to store your Naira. If you work for 1 million Naira a month, that 1 million Naira will be given to you as salary and or wages or as income. What is important is you have to borrow yourself, like they joke, some common sense and decide where to store it. If you choose to store your Naira in Naira, good luck to you. If you choose to store your Naira in dollar, good luck to you. If you choose to store your Naira in stocks, shares, and bonds, good luck to you. If you choose to store your Naira in savings, good luck to you. But what I think Emmanuel has shown and what Dukia knows as a fact, and what the world is telling everybody who cares to listen, is that the best store of value right now is no longer in fiat currency. It's not in dollar, it's not in euro, it's not in pounds, it's not in Canadian dollar. It has to be in gold. And copiously, Dukia Gold, working with everyone across the globe, can show you that Dukia Gold investments and anyone who also bought Dukia Gold coins and or investment grade bars last year returned in excess of 86% net, and after adjusting for inflation. It is bound to happen again. You recall in our first seminar this year, we predicted that the gold price would go in excess of $3,000. It's definitely on its way to get to 3,500. So when is the best time to buy gold? It's not yesterday, it's today, because like they joke, tomorrow starts today. And if you are trying to protect your asset, your wealth, your income, your future for tomorrow, please buy gold today. Don't wait for the day when they say it has come down or is whatever. Buy gold on a daily basis, buy it on a monthly basis. Try to store your naira, your wealth, your person in gold. You'll be very glad you did. We've also said to you, in doing this storage, please be mindful of one very important fact. Precautionary money is different from investment money. Therefore, if you are trying to build a house, of course, you then don't go to the house and say, I feel like spending money today, then you yank off your kitchen and go and auction it. The kind of money that you must put in gold is the kind of money that you are trying to put into a house. So that it's only when you are ready, the house is finished, and that's when you call people to come and either buy it, or that's when you can transfer it to somebody as a proper asset. Build up your gold portfolio. Build up your gold asset. God forbid you will not have any emergency to sell, but even if you do choose to sell, it's the most liquid asset currently in the world as we speak. When Russia went into trouble, they bought gold. When China had issues, it bought gold. When Australia got into some trouble, it bought gold. When North Korea had problems, they acquired gold. When South Korea had issues, they bought gold. Any country that knows how to balance its portfolio and wants to run away from risks and devaluation, including economic turmoil, buys gold. Please listen to the world, listen to the central banks, listen to economists, listen to Dukia Gold. Try to diversify a huge quantum of your assets into gold. I wish you well as you do so. Like we said, we'll be very willing and pleased to take your questions and answers, and therefore I will yield the microphone to Emmanuel. But again, I must commend everyone for their patience. I would also like to add, just on a quick note, the trading platform is being improved daily to make it easier for all of us to use. Of course, there are some aspects of it which is bought from a third-party supplier, because that's how the financial system is built in Nigeria. In doing your KYC, we need to use a third-party service provider who helps us fetch data from you directly. They don't show it to us. It passes it to the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, where part of your KYC checking and onboarding is done. Once it's done, we only get a return that says, yes, the banking industry knows you, the federal government of Nigeria knows you, and there is every reason why you can be very comfortable with that. We have to do it because your KYC is important. It's an asset that you're trying to keep for life and perhaps pass on to other generations as wealth. It's therefore important that we know who you are and that you know who we are, And when you say to us, deliver gold, it's not then we start to you, what does the person look like? Where does he live? What kind of patient is? We are also very compliant with the AML and SCUMU in terms of everything that we touch. The money that must come to us must be money that is approved and must have come from a legitimate source. And therefore, we apologize sometimes when you have to answer many questions in getting yourself onboarded. But once you are onboarded, you are onboarded for life. And if you're onboarded for life, you can be very comfortable that onboarding process will take a minute or two. But if you consider a lifetime of enjoyment of value, a lifetime of enjoyment of peace of mind, which gold brings, I'm certain that is worth it. But to make life a lot easier, we have created 2 help desks. One help desk you can actually call directly. The second help desk that we have created is a virtual help desk, such that you can watch the video of how to register on board, check your balance, do any kind of change and verification that you need to do. If you find it difficult to do that by yourself, Emmanuel would post a phone number that you can use, and we are always available to talk you through on a Zoom, a video, telephone, and if you still require a physical visit, of course, we can organize and arrange that. The challenge for everyone is physical visits cost money. In the world of virtual life now, anything that you can do, paying a visit to you physically can be done via Zoom. So we are confident that more people are getting the ease of joining the platform. Anyone who still has a challenge, we apologize, and we will try to solve it this week. I see your post, madam, and I want to beg you once again, we don't take you for granted. At the end of today's session again, I would ensure that I personally join a Zoom call to make sure that we take you through and solve your onboarding process. Once again, Emmanuel, over to you. Thank you, MD, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, I have a question. I'm seeing a question here from Mr. Please ask your questions. You can just input them in the chat and I'll read and respond to them. What's the difference between the gold bar and the pool allocated gold? Okay, is a famous analogy which chairman uses. So if you want to buy gold bar, we sell gold bars in discrete forms. So you can either buy 1 gram or 5 gram or 10 grams. So that's a discrete gold bar. But discrete gold bars are very, very expensive. And not everyone can buy gold either as a bar or as a coin. Clearly, if you want to buy 1 gram of gold, you need about $98. If you want to buy 1 ounce, you need about $3,000. So not everyone can buy that right away. I'm speaking to you, Mr. Adiken. So for pool allocated gold, it's where a lot of people come together to buy gold. Let's say you can buy 1 loaf of bread, which is, let me say, give a value of 1,000 naira. So if 10 people not buy, okay, let's us contribute together and buy 1 loaf of bread. For the amount that I buy, I'll take a slice. So let's say it's 1,000 naira divided by 10. Each person contributes 100 naira, and 100 naira is 1 slice, giving a figure of 10 slices in a loaf of bread. If 10 people come together, contribute 100 naira to buy a loaf of bread, that's 1,000 naira. Each of them will get a slice of bread from that loaf. And that's the difference between pool allocated gold. So for pool allocated means you cannot buy 1 gram, which is currently 231,000. You contribute 5,000. I contribute 5,000. We look for maybe 30 other people to contribute 5,000, equaling to 231,000 naira, and we buy 1 gram. That's the difference between pool allocated gold. So they are not buying the gold bar physically or discretely. We are coming together as a group to buy the main bar. I hope that answers the question, Mr. Adikem. Oh, Mrs. Adikemi, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah. Let me just add this. Full allocated gold is actually physically available gold. It's physically deliverable also. And I'm certain Many people know about Ajo. Many people know about Isusu. So Nigerians are used to contributory schemes. Yeah. The gold that we sell in your language and my language is 24 karat, but we don't sell gold in karat. We sell gold in terms of purity. So we sell gold that is 49 pure. That's 99.99% pure. We sell the highest degree of quality of gold. That's what we sell. Karat is used more in jewelry, not in the investment grade situation. Again, Emmanuel and many other parties who have delivered lectures in the past have shown the difference between investment grade gold and jewelry. What this seminar, what Dukia Gold tries to push is investment grade gold. So just to say it in conclusion, it's like you saying, I want to buy a piece of earring for those who still look at carats, and you don't have money to buy the full earring. But if you are able to pay for the earring instrumentally, one day when you finish paying what will deliver one side of the earring to you, you can always go and say, I'm finished paying for this one, can I take it? So we found people who wish to buy 1 gram because they sell, for instance, plantain, and they are doing a job of 5,000 or 10,000 naira every day. But they've changed their job from storing that 10,000 naira in naira or giving to another job. They have chosen to buy gold with it. What happens is that if they contribute that 10,000 naira every month or every day, by the end of 200 days, they would have saved 200,000. By the end of 300 days, they would have saved 300,000. And you'll be surprised that because they've done that kind of savings, they might have bought more than 1 point something grams. And so they are also encouraged to continue. I know somebody who has consistently done this on a daily basis. And if you ask how many grams that person has, easily is in excess of 6 grams. If you ask also what was the total value or average price of the investment, since the person started when it was about 49.53, and today the price of gold itself is in excess of 90, you tell you my average price is 70, my gain is $20 on each gram that I have. If you can multiply 20 by 60, it's easy. You get $120. And if you were to then compare you leaving your money idly in a savings account and or a current account or any other form of investment that has been discussed, it makes sense for you to buy gold. Buy discrete gold if you can afford it. It comes with volume discounts. That's what they say. If you wanted to buy Coca-Cola when we were young, sometimes we all contributed money to one person. And the challenge was when the Coke comes home and we open the bottle, everybody brings out a cup. Some of us brought out what is called the greedy cup. And we then said, pour my cup, and we want height. Do you understand? But in gold, we have made sure that the gold you buy is equitably discharged to you in your name. Once it's available on the quantity that can be delivered to you, you can always opt out of pool allocated and go into discrete bars. But the first thing is allow everyone access to gold, and that's what that platform does. Again, there's 1 gram and multiples thereof. There is 1 ounce and multiples thereof. There is 1 kilogram and multiples thereof. Once again, please buy gold, buy discrete, but if you cannot afford discrete, join others in buying from a pool allocated product that is physically available, is available in your name, and is available to deliver once you can make it up to whatever it is. I hand over the microphone again to you.
Thank you so much for addressing that. Please, if you have more questions, just input it in the chat, because I want to take us through on a demo on how to use the platform. If you have more questions, just reply it in the chat and I'll focus on that. Let me take us on using the platform. I'll stop sharing my screen now, which I will share when I come to the platform. So just hang on.
So, Emmanuel, thank you for wanting to take us to the platform. I think it's extremely important that that's the right way to go towards the platform. While Emmanuel is getting ready to show us the platform, it's important that I also give you some additional information about our backward integration. Last month, I did confirm to you that our gold search program, which is called the Exploration, had matured a lot. And to the greater glory of God, we commissioned what is referred to as a drilling program. I'm happy to report that that drilling program is fully underway, and the results of our drill samples is extremely encouraging. Once again, I want to thank all of you and thank the federal government of Nigeria, the government of the many states where we have assets and properties for allowing us to carry out exploration peacefully. We are happy because increasingly it will become more and more reliably possible for us to source all the gold that we are selling to you from a local mining site. And what this does also is that it gives the credibility and the provenance of the gold we bring to the market to be 100% traceable and controllable. This way, you can rest assured that any investment bar that you acquire from this platform is 101% properly sourced, is compliant with OECD, is compliant with LBMA, is also provenance compliant, so that you can always be rest assured that if you are to want to sell or resell any of the products that we offer, you are clear in the note and know that yes, it came from a genuine, credible source. We will not, and we shall not, by the grace of God, mix our gold with any unclean and or wrongly sourced product. And therefore, I want to say congratulations to Nigeria. We will continue to make further and better announcements. Also get ready for a very major announcement from Dukia Gold when the time comes. What we have found, what we have discovered is extremely material, and it's going to be a very big force in adding value to the economy of Nigeria. Over to you, Mr. Emmanuel. So the trading platform would only have credible gold to sell. I just wanted to say that before you start. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And thank you everyone for still being part of this webinar. Okay, now, and okay, let me just, the website, let me input the website on the chat. The website is,
I think you should show us the way to get here. But while you are trying to do that, please, Mrs. Awukwiba has her hands up. If it's something that we will deal with after, you can type it. Otherwise, we note you. But let Emmanuel do the presentation, and then I'll ensure that I give you a call immediately after this. But you're recognized, Mark. Emmanuel, over to you.
all right, sir. Now, the website is in the chat, so you can just type new. The reason for the new is because this is a very, very new trading platform. New dot, which is in the chat, Dukia Precious Metals .co, not .com, not .com, .co, and type it in the chat. So this is the trading platform. It will bring you immediately to this page. And as you can see, it's very, very intuitive for you to do. We can see our trusted partners, who we are, and just a subsequent video on why you should invest in gold. Now, if you stay on the platform for too long, this is an automatic link, you will see a pop-up button where you can actually register. Now, there are three different account types here. So if you're a new registrar, if you're just registering for the first time, you can use an individual account, which only many people use. You can use a joint account if you're a couple, or it's a family member, or it's a cooperative, or just an informal group of people. So you can create a joint account and register. And you can also register as a corporate account. Maybe if you're a business owner and you want to incorporate your business members into Dukia Gold, you can register as a business account. So if you just click on the account, you see a form where you should fill in. And okay, please, I should just make this clear. While you are filling this form, ensure that your details like the first name, middle name, and last name actually corresponds to your BVN. Because if it doesn't correspond to the name on your BVN, you will have problem much later during the registration process. So please ensure that the names, the emails, and the phone number you're using to register on this platform is actually the one that corresponds to your BVN, because you'll be required for that later. You just fill out this information and click next. When you click next, you set a password. And once you set a password, you will now be prompted to log in with a very unique ID and password with that same email and password. And rest assured, you will get a notification mail that congratulations, you've just registered on the Dukia Gold platform. Now, when you register,
Emmanuel, please remember to tell everyone, keep your password, keep it safe. If you need to write it down in a safe, quiet place, do so. Because that password matters a lot. That password allows you to come in and out of your platform. It's like you basically going into your closet to go and transact your business. It's like you going into your vault to go and look at your gold, add to it and take away from it. No one should know your password, and everyone who is your friend should only be told, I have gold as an investment, but please keep your password. Also, make sure that your password is strong enough. We beg you to try and keep an alphanumeric plus a character type of password, so that it's strong, it's not easy for anyone to basically replicate and or hack into. The platform is safe, it's secure, we know. The password is also the only way that you can keep your own access also safe. So please, Emmanuel, I want you to reemphasize that platform aspect for password so that everybody is aware. 80% of the customers who have challenges when they say, oh, we can't remember our password. They enter the first, second, and then it locks them out. Because, of course, if someone is trying to force his way into your house, if your door is a good one, it should basically say, I won't allow you in, and notify you that you have been locked out. So, Mr. Emmanuel, I will pass the microphone to you. Password, please.
Definitely, sir. So what we even advise that even if you are creating, let me go back to the password side. What we even advise is that while you are creating a password, if you won't remember it on your own, it is best advisable that you write it down. Write it down. So if you want to log in, for every time you want to log in, you'll be required the password. And this password, for it to be strong, in quotes, it needs to have a combination of alphabets, numbers, and characters. So we best advise that if you are not fond of memorizing passwords like some people are, if you are not going to be familiar with memorizing passwords, save the password or write it down, or save it in a fintech app or a platform that you will be able to have only restricted access to it. This password, which I won't show clearly, it's a combination of alphabets, numbers, and characters. So only you should have access to your password, clearly, no one else. And just in case you forgot your password in quotes, you will definitely get an email to rectify that password. But please and please, ensure that while you are first registering, your password is strong. strong in the sense of being alphabets, numbers, and characters. So if you log into the platform, you will see your dashboard where you will see the various types of precious metals on the platform, like gold, silver, platinum, lithium. Currently, we are actually focused on gold. So you will see the amount of gold you have and an equivalent asset worth, the value based on the current market value of the amount of gold you have on this platform. If you are just registered new, I should say this, on this section, because I clearly have an account, if you just registered new, on this section, you see where you should complete KYC. Complete KYC. You would see it's bold, it will be so bold that you won't even not be able to recognize it. It'll be so bold on this platform. You see a big screen saying complete KYC. So you just click on the complete KYC, then it will automatically link you to your BVN. Now, the BVN is sourced from a third-party service. So if you are having challenges with your BVN, as I mentioned earlier, it's either the first name, the middle name, and the last name, which you used in registering, it's not the same on your BVN. That's when your BVN will not authenticate. Because we've had a lot of customers where their son name, which they use in registering on the registering their BVN when they open their bank account, is different from the name used in filling up this account form. And just please, to be fair, the son name registering for Dukia Gold is equivalent to the last name, not the first name. The first name is your name that you are being called. My name is Emmanuel, so that is what I will include as my first name. But my son name, which is Mwaka, is what I will include as my last name. And my middle name is what I'll include in my middle name. So that is how you should fill the platform. If you're having maybe errors or complaints navigating first and surname, just be rest assured that your surname will be your last name. Finish. And your first name is your own name, which you use to register on this platform. When you now complete the BVN, so why we fail to have BVN mismatch, which a customer complained about, is either your name doesn't correlate or there's just a connectivity issue on your end. And what you should do anytime that you feel it's not responding is to just refresh the page. So it's either there's a connectivity issue or your name doesn't match. If you try it oftentimes and it still doesn't work, I think you should send an email to us. Then we'll know exactly what the problem is and we'll tell you how to better resolve it. In filling up, after you complete your BVN, you are done with tier 1 registration. You now need to fill up your residential details, which is the rest of the KYC process. Now, in filling up your residential details, you will need your bank account. Clearly, everyone here will have a bank account. So you fill up the bank account which you use and you upload a valid ID. Either your NIN, your driving license, your international passport, or any other documentation that proves that you're valid. You just fill it there and you fill your proof of address. Now, any documents, your proof of address can be your utility bill, either for the PHCN or the water or your renting bill or any other bill that shows that you are paying to this particular address which you filled on the platform. Is what you should upload. Now, most people actually upload their bank statements, which is clearly a proof of address. But while you're uploading your bank statement, be rest assured that the address on your bank statement has to correspond with the address you're filling with. If it doesn't correspond, your KYC won't be completed. It won't be completed. So be sure that you'll be required to register a residential address and you'll be required to make sure that all the details you uploaded, like your valid ID and your proof of address, correspond with the details that you're filling in. Because this platform actually has to be accredited since it's a financial platform. It has to be accredited by various financial institutions. So we need to rest assured that everyone that registers on the platform has a clear track record. It's not under any watch list. It has valid proof of identification and it has a valid address that we can trace to, all for regulatory purposes. So once you are done with registering, your KYC submission just takes approximately 3 business days and it to be verified. Okay, I can say a chat. But please be ensured that you register with your correct details for you to actually navigate through the platform. I know why I'm emphasizing on this, because a lot of people have had to re-register afresh just to make sure that their details are correct. For those working abroad, do we need a working Nigerian account? Yes. Currently, we have not actually diversified our portfolio to receive those coming from outside Nigeria. Since we are based in Nigeria and we serve a Nigerian audience, and we are currently being monitored and regulated by the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, we strictly focus our platform to serve Nigerian customers. But don't be perturbed. We are going to expand our services to serve international clients. But for those internationally, you would need to register with your valid Nigerian details. And clearly, I've heard a lot of international customers from abroad, from across the world, to register. You just need your valid Nigerian details. If you have a valid ID, you should have a passport if you're living abroad. So you can just upload that passport. And wherever you lived in Nigeria, wherever you live should have a utility bill or should have a bank statement. So you just upload those bills and you are fine to go. You're good to go. Remember, you need to verify your BVN and make sure your BVN details tally. 2, you need to impute your residential address and a valid ID and make sure that those details tally. If your KYC is not verified after 3 working days, we will give you a clear reason why it's not verified. It could either be, okay, your details, most times, 99% of the time, is maybe your details are not tallying. So, or there's a peculiar case, or there's a, you are uploading your bank statement that is passworded. Now, just listen. For those of you who are going to not be uploading your utility bills like water bill or NEPA bill, and you need to upload the bank statement, please and please ensure that that bank statement is not passworded. You should know that every time your bank sends you a statement of account indicating the transactions that you did during the previous month, it is passworded with your account number. So ensure that you remove that password from that document and send it to us. Because if it's passworded with your details, we won't have access to it clearly, and we won't be able to read it. So you should make sure that if you're uploading your bank statement, for those of you who will upload your bank statement as proof of address, make sure that it's not passworded so that we can be able to verify it. So we don't be frightened. We know that the registration process is a bit intense for some people, but it's very, very, very good. It's going to be very, very straightforward. Once you just have the required details, it's just a matter of uploading and clicking next, and you're verified. Simple. In less than 3 working days, you should have a feedback. And if you don't get an appropriate feedback, or you are having an issue with the verification process, just email us and we'll definitely respond back to you. So for Mr. Dikemi that's asked for pool allocated code, this is the various types of code in bars, coins, or pool allocated. If you want to buy 5 gram, you just need to add a multiple of 5 gram to your cart. So let's say I'm currently on 1 gram, which is currently 231,000 naira. So I'll just need to add to cart and check out. Now I can now select multiples of that amount. Wait a moment. I can select multiples. I can select these 2 times. That's 2 gram, 3 gram, 4 gram, 5 gram, even 7 gram. I can select it, add multiples to it, and just check out, and it will eventually show your address. For those who are planning to check out their deliverable, their good value, we recommend that you use Paystack so that it automatically reflects on your platform. I know this is an issue that we are still trying to resolve internally, but if you are sending a transfer to a bank account, it will take time to reflect, because we have a designated bank account where we accept monies from. But the problem was that we are trying to make sure that all bank accounts reflect automatically, even though we have to make sure that we speak to the best of the bankers and the best of the heads of the institution, the UBA bank account. So we recommend that for it to reflect automatically, we recommend Paystack. Now, I should say this as a caveat. Most people are not familiar with online banking at all. So they will still need a step to actually verify through Paystack. And for them, they feel at ease to send money directly to a bank account. No problem. So far that you have, after you send the money to the bank account, you will need to actually go back and make a deposit request. You just need to make a deposit request, you just go back to the fund account and say, okay, let's say I deposited, let me give it value, let me say 10,000 naira, pay bank transfer. And I copy this account number and pay to this account. I'll need to go back to this account and signify that I have paid with bank transfer. So if you see this account number and you make any transfer to this account, you just need to come back here where you saw the account number and signify paid, finish. That's just it. But if you are familiar with online banking and you don't feel a need to do a transfer, you can just pay conveniently with Paystack and it will go automatically. So that's how to fund your account with either bank transfer or Paystack. We recommend Paystack because since it's automatic, it reflects instantly. But for those who are not familiar with online banking and you don't need to be, you can just pay with bank transfer. But the problem is that once we receive an alert, we'll automatically credit you. But we'll need you to do a deposit request first so that we are very rest assured that your transfer corresponds with our details internally. So yeah, that's about it with funding and using your accounts. So if you don't want to buy gold bars, you can just buy pool allocated, which is here. And the minimum for pool allocated is just 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira, which updates every 27 seconds. It's because of volatility this time that I highlighted in this chart that makes us recommend that makes us recommend Paystack. But if you just need to buy pool allocated gold, just top up your account with convenient money and buy instantly. Voila, okay. And you've bought.
Thank you so much. Again, let me just quickly add. Many people assume that all that glitter is gold. Please be very careful when you are trying to buy gold. And one of the key reasons why Dukia Gold is also undertaking this amount of extensive information, education, communication is so that people don't fall into the wrong hands. We will not sell any fake product or any tainted product. We will only sell 99.99% pure investment grade gold that has been minted by an LBMA certified refiner. That's the only thing we sell. So if anyone comes to you and says there's gold to be bought in a Babalawo place or in one shop somewhere or from somebody, be extremely careful because 90% of all of us, if we see gold, we can only say, I think it's gold. It can be gold plated. It can be 14 karat gold. It can be 19 karat gold. It can be gold. It can be 12 karat gold. It can just be a fool's gold. And they will sell it to you and you will think you have a property in your hand or an asset in your hand. Is on the day you want to resell it that you will begin to understand that they have been taking you for a ride. In the past, when we were doing a huge quantum of buying gold from third party, we have noticed in Nigeria especially that many people were sold jewelry, were sold gold, said to be 18 karat, when at best they were just 14 karat or 12 karat gold, if at all. Some have been sold pure plated gold, in which case what they have underneath maybe is just a base metal of any type. And when you have jewelry, please don't equate jewelry at all to an investment grade gold bar, because in jewelry You are paying for the brand, you are paying for the design, you are paying for if you are lucky to have a stone on it. And be careful also, even with stones, people have come to us saying, I have diamond, and then it turns out you check his value, it's just zircon. So please, if you found somebody who says he will sell you what is internationally sold at a particular price, maybe the current price of gold is $95, right? Officially. And someone says, oh, I can get it for you in Nigeria at $80. Honestly, my grandma, God bless her, used to say, and don't wafa and wofo. If you are looking for a generous discount, you are perhaps also looking for a generous way of using your money. We would not recommend that you compare us with any charlatan. We are not. We would not also recommend that you go to any charlatan as a client or as a friend or as a future or present customer. Stay in this safe supermarket that we have created. Save your money in this platform that has been created. You'll be happy that you did. Everyone who bought gold on the first day of January this year has already seen, if you bought an ounce, has already seen more than $200 added to the value of what they bought. And that's the best way to invest. You can track, you can trace, you have peace of mind that what you have is what you need. I'm passing the microphone again to you, Emmanuel.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Yes, definitely. Most people have actually contacted us and asking whether we sell. What we sell is investment grade gold. To be best, we don't sell all those phony types of gold that you find in every store. We sell investment grade gold that's of 99.99% purity. To sell this kind of gold in Nigeria requires rules, and we followed all. That's why I recommend people, even if you are buying gold, patronize an approved gold bullion merchant, an approved one. There's a difference between an approved one and the one that is really not required to be approved. So we need it to be rest assured that anytime you buy from us, your gold is faulted, it's internationally recognized, and it's approved bullion merchant. We followed all the laws required to follow by the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development to make sure that anything you are buying from us is accredited. So you don't even have to be getting concerning the gold you buy from us. And also, I've received questions both personally and from the team concerning the prices of gold. Rest assured that the prices accurately reflect the cost of running the platform and the ease of access for you to actually navigate through gold. These prices are internationally recognized, but we include also other fees and convenience for you to move about with your gold portfolio at any point in time. Most people have bought gold from us in Nigeria and traveled outside. That convenience and ease, not having to think back about, okay, where is my gold? No, that's what we included and all to make the platform a trustworthy figure for you. So you rest assured that these prices that you see here are internationally recognized. There are no added fees, there are no hidden charges, there are no rerouting benefits. There's absolutely nothing of the sort. It's internationally recognized, and it's for you to actually navigate through the platform easily and accurately. I know I've received a lot of complaints concerning, okay, the price is too high or this or that, but we can assure you that Dukia Gold is giving you the best value for 1 gram of gold, 10 grams of gold, 50 grams of gold. And the international value is clearly listed at the top of the screen because clearly we have nothing to hide. This is the internationally recognized value, which you can convert to Naira at your own convenience. So the prices are accurately descriptive and reflects the cost of running the platform and the convenience for you as a person to navigate through it. I'm still checking the chat for any other questions, so at can.
Yes, sir. With every due respect, sir, Chief Akode, you can buy your gold today in the morning, and if you need money, you can sell it almost immediately in the evening. The reason is simple. Gold is one of the most fungible and perhaps the most liquid asset in the world today. There is a price for gold 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's a price for gold in every currency in the world. So if you have gold and you want to sell it in pounds sterling, even though you bought it in naira, immediately someone can give you the price of 1 kilogram of gold or 1 ounce of gold in any currency of the world, dollar, yen, lira, if it still exists. So that's it. But in terms of portfolio and strategy, gold serves when it stores your money in a long-term way. So, like I said, sir, if you are trying to build a house for a child or a grandchild, and you don't have cash to buy the house immediately, and you wanted to save up to give that child a house, what we know from fact now is that if that house is worth, for the sake of argument, 50 million, and you start to save 50 million in naira and keep it in naira, or you start to save 50 million in gold and keep it in gold, chances are that over the 2-year period or 3-year period when you save that 50 million, if you kept it in gold, gold will be able to beat inflation and make everything possible so that on the day you truly want to buy that house, which is worth, say, 50 million today, which may be worth 60 million in 2-3 years' time, gold, hopefully at 87% return, for instance, will be able to allow you buy the house. So gold is an asset that you can get into both on the short term and on the long term. I have also good news for all of us. We have signed on with one of the great banks in technology. We have signed up also with one of the largest card issuing company in Nigeria. We have signed up with NIBS, which everybody is aware of, and we are creating, for your convenience, what is referred to as the Dukia Gold Debit Card. The debit card actually is tied to your gold wallet or your gold holdings. And technically, we would encourage you to keep that card as part of your cards in your wallet, so that if you are trying to buy a TV, or you are trying to save for Christmas or save for your summer travel, if you store your gold in January and you want to travel in July, rather than trying to convert it into cash, you'll be able to spend your Dukia Gold Card. Every bank in Nigeria eventually will be encouraged to issue a gold card to the gold holders. And we will be willing to give further details about that very soon. Once that is done, the question of when I sell my gold becomes a lot easier, because you don't even need to sell your gold. You can actually go ahead and sell and basically spend your gold. What that does is that with a Dukia Gold Card, you put it in a point of sales device. Point of sales device will ask you for your PIN. Once your PIN is done, if you want to buy a TV that is worth 2 million naira and you have gold of $3,000 worth, maybe it's called an ounce, you will check the value of the ounce and you buy your gold maybe with roughly 25 grams. You'll still be left with a change of 6 grams, and the TV will be yours. So things are going to come more convenient for you to acquire gold, and become, in fact, easier for you to monetize or financialize or convert your gold into other assets. That's coming very, very soon. And I want to again thank you, sir, for that question. Gold can be bought in the morning and sold almost instantaneously. We don't encourage it because there's a buy price for gold, there's a sell price for gold, the same way there's a buy price for dollar and there's a sell price for dollar. You don't want to buy dollar in the morning at maybe 1,500 and go back to sell it. The man will simply say to you, your new price is 1,400 and something. No, but if you kept it long enough, you'll find that the current price of gold will be 2,900. The way it was at the beginning of this month is now 3,000. By the end of this year, maybe 3,500. When you have that kind of situation and you sell gold, you get a better return on investment and you feel happier with your investment. But volume players like banks and financial institutions who buy tons and tons of gold first are able to enjoy discounts from their purchases, and because of the way in which they do business, they are able to move tons in and out of their position regularly. Most Nigerians are not able to enjoy that now, and we are just encouraging people, first build up your portfolio, make it sizable. And once it's sizable, you can buy and sell on a daily basis or take advantage of price swings. That's what I would suggest. Over to you, Emmanuel. Thank you. But thank you very much for attending.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Chairman, for addressing that. Okay, if you have any more questions, please just let us know. Because you can just signify in the chat or we'll address directly. If you have any questions, please post it in the chat or we'll address directly. Okay, Mr. Bolaji said you will see need a one-on-one. Okay, I'll give you my number so you can call me. How is that? I'll just input my number in the chat so you can just reach out to me.
Again, Emmanuel, on behalf of all of us from Dukia Gold, I will thank you for the quality of your presentation. Once again, we congratulate you as a Nigerian, bringing research into perspective for everyone to listen to compare. Your research is showing how well gold performed compared to every other asset class is extremely important. And I will beg you, even if it's that one page, cut it out, make sure everybody gets that one today, either by email or by WhatsApp or by any means of registration and communication that you have, that one page, so that people can truly check, even on the internet, the truth and veracity of the return. And once they find it, you've said it, call your investment advisor or call yourself and say, what can I do to put part of my wealth in gold? It will help you as a household. It will help you as a person. And we continue to work with Nigeria and Nigerian institutions to also convert, continue to enhance their holding in gold. As you are aware, the Central Bank of Nigeria actually has over 23 tons of gold as part of their holdings. And then indeed, there's a gold purchase program under the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Initiative. So even Nigeria as a country is also increasing its gold stock. If the federal government is doing that, you should encourage the state governments to do it. We should also encourage the corporates to do it. And more important, you should encourage the individuals to do it. I think you sent that message to all of us today, Mr. Emmanuel. I want to thank you very, very much. I also need to thank my director who keeps everyone on their toes in making sure that this quality control and quality assurance in your presentation is up to speed. We also thank God for providing the enabling environment for all of us to meet, and technology also working very, very well today. And I want to say congratulations to all Dukia customers. Your company is getting stronger by the day, and by the special grace of God, there will be many good information, announcements, innovation that is taking place that will be there for you to benefit from in the not too distant future. On the mining side, again, I congratulate all of us, Nigerians especially, because of the quality of the assets that we have discovered and that is definitely going to be available for mining. It gives you and all of us confidence that the products that we shall sell to you now and in the future is further guaranteed on terms of provenance, in terms of due diligence and compliance with OECD LBMA. Be rest assured, we shall continue to make a way for, again, also lowering the cost of acquisition, and that lower cost of acquisition can and indeed, by the grace of God, will be passed to you, the client, and everybody eventually will own at least 10 kilograms of gold or 1 kilogram of gold or half a kilogram of gold or a pool allocated value of gold called 5,000. What is important is not too small. What is critical is that you must have gold in your portfolio. Start today small, start today well, and start today and be consistent with the acquisition. On behalf of all of us, I thank everyone for listening, and I beg that we close the meeting at this time. God be with us all till we meet again. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Emmanuel.
Thank you so much, Chairman, for that closing feedback. Before we call this up, I'll need to just invite the MD to just lay emphasis, especially concerning the password integration with our mining site. I know the chairman has in detail clarified that we are currently building the mining infrastructure to actually support this trading platform and make it far more cost effective and convenient for you to purchase gold from anywhere. But I just need to invite her over to just close the remark before I end this presentation. MD, over to you.
Thank you, Emmanuel, and thank you, Chairman. I think you've done excellently well today, but very big thanks to you, our customers, the reason why we're here. We appreciate your time, your contributions, and we appreciate your feedback because it's what drives us, because we're here to serve you. So every feedback we've received today has been well taken and will be taken on board in our processes. Dukia Gold remains a mines to market organization, and we thank you for the support so far. We believe that the mining opportunities that the chairman has mentioned today would further enable us serve you even better, because we will be able to source locally and refine, get it up to standard, and by the grace of God, transfer even the efficiency that has been achieved. That would also be reflected in the pricing in the future. So we thank you, everyone. And as you continue to stay with us in building this ecosystem, we appreciate you, and we hope you show up at the future events, but most importantly, that you continue to get the benefits of your investment in gold. Each time we see this happen and we see the prices go up, it gladdens our hearts that our customers are getting value, and this is a trend we know will continue. So help also to be apostles so that we can get more people, not just because it's business for us, but we believe that it's the way to go. And we should, as they say, not eat with our 10 fingers, but we should save. And in saving, we don't want to wake up when we need the money and find out that it's no longer of true value. So gold is the way to go. And we hope that, we know the trend will continue. We hope that you remain as beneficiaries of this. Thank you, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you all.
Thank you so
Emmanuel.
much, Enrique. Thank you so much, Andy, for that beautiful closing remark. And be rest assured, there will be another monthly webinar on the last Thursday of August 2025 to just keep enlightening you. For those of you who didn't hear what we presented, don't worry at all. We'll send you the recording. We'll upload it to YouTube and send it to you so that you can rewatch. Also, we'll send you the slides and we'll send you a picture, as the chairman instructed, of the trend pattern in gold so that you can make a firm decision for yourself, your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, and for your children. So thank you so much. I remain Emmanuel Waka, and thank you for being with us for this webinar. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.